This is Rich, and today we got the homie
Ant.
Ant is in the building. We're gonna have a lot of good conversations, a lot of stuff to chop up.
Yeah,
It's been a minute, bro.
It has been, since last season, since
Last
the beginning.
season, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
But before we continue, though,
make sure you guys go like and subscribe. Click the link to get all our notifications when we have new episodes. Share it, tell a friend, tell a friend. We're on all social media and all podcast platforms.
comment, all that good stuff.
So, Anthony,
yes, sir.
what's been going on, bro?
Life, brother. A lot of working, doing a little bit of fetting. You know what I mean?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Went out this weekend. Good time. I felt the effects yesterday. Life is good, man. Life is good.
That's what's up.
Ready for Carnival. Actually, I already bought my flight.
Oh, you too?
Already.
You bought both, like the going and return?
Yeah.
We talking about Trinidad Carnival.
Trinidad.
Yeah.
Trinidad.
Depending on the airlines.
Oh,
Some airlines
what
get-
airline did you get?
Caribbean, actually.
Yeah, I think
I
Caribbean.
ain't flying Caribbean.
Yeah, I think Caribbean. You're a step above Caribbean, dog.
Hey, it's still a step above it. It's still a step above it. I did buy my my ticket down on American, but it's only because the returns for American haven't opened up yet.
Yeah, they'll be out in
a couple days.
Yeah.
So just trying to get ready for stuff. Enjoying this year.
Done.
Work.
We are buying tickets for Trinidad Carnival, and Rowley sitting there like, I announced nothing yet.
Dog, it's one of those things where I don't mind taking the chance because the tickets are so low that the cost is so low that even if, God forbid, there is no Carnival, which I don't believe is going to be an issue,
Right.
I'm gonna still have some change that I can put towards something else.
Or honestly, dog, I feel like I would still just go. Like if I already have the ticket, because I was talking about that with my mom. Like, how she went this year for the taste of.
Right.
I was like, I haven't bought my ticket yet. But even when I do, even if it's way early and there is no Carnival, I'm probably just still going to commit to going to Trinidad during that time. Because at that point, it'll be like, I'm at least in Trinidad while it's freezing in the States.
This is the longest I've gone without being in Trinidad. I know you went last year.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to Trinidad since March of 2020.
Nah, bro, you overdue.
I'm long overdue, bro. This is the longest I've gone without going to Trinidad.
This is one where you just need to take a trip. Like, you need to pick a borrow day.
Oh, don't get it twisted. I'll be there this year because, hopefully, in the paint dance. Why not?
So, last time I went to Trinidad was 2020. But the last time I actually was there for Carnival was 2016. So I'm way overdue. That's why I was like, I gotta buy it now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You wildin'.
That
is just what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember, so 2020 when you went, it was before Carnival, right?
It was for Bacchanal Road weekend.
Right.
So, I mean, that's
he at least got that.
Yeah.
It got a taste.
That's a consolation prize.
Yeah. I have not been for that. I'm definitely...
It's a good time.
I'm definitely going to make one. And it might be 23.
Oh, without doubt. So for me again,
so is that when you bought the ticket for around that time, or did you? Oh,
no. So I bought a ticket when I would have normally gone, which is so I ended up doing the Saturday before, which I think is the 11th of February.
Okay.
And I'll stay for the 2 weeks for that period. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be another at least weekend or 2 weekends.
That's what I'm
between Boxing Day and.
I just need to know exactly when it's going to be because with everything kind of in flux. I don't want to buy a ticket for what I think the weekend's going to be.
And it end up being something else.
And then it's nothing. So I was like, let me at least hear when...
It won't be a nothing. Because this is technically
a short carnival. Carnival season, Carnival season starts January. So
yeah, but it's a short carnival too.
Not that short. But shorter than this year, yes.
Right.
Shorter than this. So that's what I'm saying. I'm sure there will be something. But I'm just thinking, let me make sure I go to the right week.
To the right one. Yeah, I feel you.
So hang on. You know what? Before we jump around, do not forget, Sunday, April 24th, my big birthday bash is going down here in the DMV at Privilege DC, 1115 U Street Northwest. It's called Prestige. I got my boy DJ Hazard. I got White Boy the DJ Precious Lane, and of course, we got Rigo Suave and Just Jay coming in for it, all hosted by DJ Majestic. So log on, get your tickets at logicpromotionsdc.com, and we go see all you there. Sunday, April 24th is a day party. Doors open at 3 p.m. and I'll come out kind of early. And the only reason we say that is we put together these events. Yep. We try to make sure you guys have a good time. You enjoy all the music. Don't come for the last hour and then complain, hear this, hear that.
Right.
So just come out early, enjoy the vibes. Again, that Sunday, April 24th is called Prestige.
Prestige always a good time.
It is. And I didn't hear you say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, just in case you did and I just didn't hear it. Make sure you dress nice. Dress nice.
Absolutely.
This is one of the few occasions where we have an excuse to dress nicely in
Put
DC.
on clothes. This is
your Sunday best.
Right. It will be. It is a good time. It's no stush vibes. If you've ever seen, log onto my page. You can see the
He's
recap
gonna start
videos.
in a suit and he's gonna end with no shirt on. Remember that.
Quite possibly. Highly.
That's every fit for him.
Highly likely. Hasn't been recently.
This is because it's cold.
It hasn't been worth it.
Because it's cold.
Yeah. But highly likely.
But this is your birthday though.
Oh yeah, dog.
On your actual birthday.
On my actual birthday this year, and I actually have a person who I trust who is going to be managing the business side of it for me.
You don't got to do none of that shit.
I don't have to do any. I'm going to be in there. I'm partying this year.
This is new for you.
Yeah, because I'm normally at my stuff.
Under or over. What time is he going to be drunk?
Before y'all get there, dog, I'm pre-game. Yeah, because I don't have to do anything. I'm probably gonna brunch.
But you gotta still enjoy.
Yeah, I'm still gonna enjoy. I'm not gonna be belligerent where I don't remember. I'm probably gonna pregame with some mimosas because it's a Sunday.
Okay.
Get some food in my belly, so at least
I come and do that.
So at least it slows down the point where the alcohol really kicks in. Get some food, coat the stomach, and then. Yeah, I plan on drinking from 3, son. Like, from 3 p.m., I'm walking in.
I can't wait.
Tender. 2.
Tender.
Yeah, like, I'm not even not bar. Tender. Let me get 2. Signal the bartender. So, it's going to be... it's going to be a scene. It's going to be a scene, so...
So, will they have mimosas there?
Oh, no, I may have to go somewhere else for that. I don't even think they're going to be open that early, but it's DC.
Privilege, privilege, right?
Yeah, it's privilege. DC and brunch is synonymous.
If we can... See if we can do some bottle specials on Prosecco. I would like to just since it's Sunday. I know some people over there. I'm gonna talk to them. Holler at them.
This man loves his champagne.
He does. He's a
dog. Like I do. Like I'm just gonna leave it at that.
So yeah, but well, while we on it, dog, let's
party scene.
Let's get to the party scene. Anthony.
Yes, sir.
Part of the reason you're here today is because me and Dre often. We get into our own conversations about going to parties because we throw parties, Dre DJs, and I'm still a patron in a lot of things.
Sure,
right?
I'm not. I patronize events, but I'm not a typical patron.
Right.
So we just had some things that we've been discussing, talking about just the DC party scene in general, and just some of our own personal. I don't want to say gripes.
Opinions.
Yeah.
That's a very neutral word.
Very skewed,
diplomatic word.
Very skewed opinions, but opinions nonetheless,
sure.
Right?
So I can call them gripes if you want me to.
So no, well, it's not even what I want you to. I want to hear from you. Like, give us your take on just the state of events in DC. I know this is a very broad question right now, but like now that parties are starting to pick back up, that restrictions are being lifted, mask mandates are going away, or have gone away. How do you feel about the events that have started so far, where we're at?
Well, to be fair, the events that I go to, I'm actually very kind of selective with like the events that I tend to go to.
Okay, why?
Well, because one, it might be an established brand, or it might be promoters that I like, or it might be the time. So I know what I'm getting.
Right.
Okay. So it's like I want to. If I'm gonna spend my money, I want to spend my money where I know I'm gonna enjoy myself.
Sure.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's how it is, and like I don't go out as much in DC because I actually live in Baltimore now. So I really do have to be selective.
You a Ravens fan now, bro?
Nah, dog.
That's
Commanders.
Dad, what's that shadowy place over there? You must never go there, son.
No, but
no, I'm lying. I like Baltimore. Sorry, Baltimore. I have some friends in Baltimore.
I live in the county. It's a difference.
Yeah.
I can rock with the county.
Yeah.
The city is a whole different animal.
I like Baltimore.
He's like, I'm gonna keep it nice and gentle.
On the record, I am not anti-Baltimore.
I'm not anti either.
Right.
I'm not anti.
Clearly.
But the thing is, like I was saying, is I'm just pretty selective with where I'm going. So it's like with my time, it's like I can't go to every fete. Right. So if I'm gonna go to a fete, I want to know. Okay, I know that this is gonna be a good event. I know that I'm gonna have a good time if I go here, and I don't mind spending my money for that.
So what actually determines it being a good event, and you knowing that you're gonna have a good time,
or assuming you're gonna have a good time?
Right.
Okay. Well, so established parties that I've been going to for years.
Okay. So history.
Yeah. So history. Promoters. I always go to y'all's parties.
Okay.
Shameless plug. Okay.
Shameless,
But I will also say it's not because we're friends,
right?
But because you all guys actually, this nigga right here.
That's an inside joke.
It ain't even that inside anymore.
It's not anymore, right?
But I will go to events because I like, okay, these are my peoples,
right?
And I know that the people that I want to actually see or hang out with or party with are also going to be there.
Got you.
You know,
so the crowd makes
the crowd makes a difference.
Okay.
Yes. The promoters, sometimes the DJs might make a difference.
Okay.
But not all the time. But
that's actually a good point though, because and I can't speak for you, but I know for me, because I'm a DJ.
Yeah.
I am very, very meticulous about making sure that like the DJs on any cast that I'm putting together an event for are going to curate musically how I want it. But like, what makes the DJ either worth wanting to listen to or not a variable in your decision making?
Okay, I've been to parties and I'm like, that nigga's on there. I might go to the bathroom during his set.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So you're saying it's more of the DJ being a deterrent versus
sometimes, yeah.
Plus.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, but I'm not gonna. So, like for example, the Fed this weekend, Strictly the Best. Freeze was playing. I love listening to Freeze.
Yeah.
Like I like the way he plays. I like his mixes and stuff like that.
Sure.
So seeing that, I was gonna go.
Okay.
And also when you drop the flyer. Also was like it's $10, so I'm
right.
going.
So price
plays it up.
Yeah. So, but it's like I saw the DJs there. I'm like, okay, and I remember in the past when they did that fete, it was a couple years ago,
2 years ago.
It was
pre-pandemic.
I was like, yo, this is great.
Right.
So I'm like,
it was
they're gonna play soca all night, and they're gonna play songs that I want to hear, and it's not gonna just be the top 15 soca songs.
You know what's crazy? So as you talk about the price and it being like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just drop the $10, right? Because that was an early bird price.
Yeah.
Because we had actually dropped that flyer about a month and a half to almost 2 months before the actual event. Do you know from a metric standpoint? Because I'm on the back end. I do all like the event management piece. Like the vast majority of people who paid to go to that event either paid the door or paid the $25 price, which was the day of up in like all the way in, I think it was like 2 weeks up into the event.
Yeah.
So all that to say, what makes you pay for a party early as opposed to waiting until?
Generally, if I know for a fact I'm gonna go, because I sometimes make game time decisions about whether or not I'm gonna go out or not. But like I saw when the flyer dropped, I was like, okay, it's March 20th. I know what I had going on the week before this. I'm like, I'm gonna go to that fete. Okay. So I'm like, I'm trying to plan out. Okay, I don't think that I'm gonna go to another fete until Prestige probably. Okay. So just because I'm trying to, plan out. This is where I'm gonna go.
These long trips down and back and all this other stuff.
Yeah. So just
the flights from Baltimore.
Right. I'm up and down every day anyway. It don't matter.
Right.
So what you're saying basically is once you've made a determination, you wait till you decide if you're going or not, and at that point you'll just get the ticket at the price it's at then. Okay.
Yeah.
So what that tells me now, I don't know if you're hearing this too, like, so I tend to be really sensitive about pricing, because for me I always I hear people complain about the cost of parties, right? But what it sounds like is if you decide based off of the promoter, the crowd that you assume that's going to be there, the DJ setup, whatever it is, it's a plus if they sell a $10 ticket and you know that you're going to buy the shit like 2 months in advance.
Yeah.
But if it's $25, and you decide 2 weeks from now that this is when you're going to buy the ticket, you're still buying the ticket regardless.
Yeah, correct. Because I want to go. I want to do it. Right. And sometimes I might make a last minute decision like, oh, this is happening today. Like actually I did it when y'all did the little pop-up.
Carnivalish.
Yeah, Carnivalish. Like
they didn't give you no time to buy a ticket in that.
They didn't, but it was I think the reason I went is because Cats posted a picture and I was working. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Party was supposed to end at 3. I got there at 3:30. Okay, but that was because I didn't plan to go. It was a last minute decision.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this, because we had this happen, and we're seeing this coming up more and more in the coming weeks. All right. Mm-hmm. So 2 events, same day, same time. Mm-hmm. Right. Not close to each other. So the option to go to both or to at least swing by both is not there. And you rock with both of the promoters from one aspect or the next. Yeah. Like, so it's not like, yo, this is my man's, I'm gonna come out and support his event because I don't really rock with them dudes. Mm-hmm. So you rock with both promoters, and it's a day that you're off, you decide, I'm going out today. Mm-hmm. What then makes your decision, what then influences your decision which event to go to?
It might be the location of the venue. Mm. Then I'll also look at who's playing, who the DJs are. Yeah. Whether or not my friends want to go with me. You know what I'm saying? So it just it will be those types of things, and also maybe the cost. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. If it's 2 fets happening at the same time. Right. Okay. I'm gonna just look at those different things.
Like, yo, I'm gonna be able to drive home in 20 minutes versus driving home in 40.
Exactly, because I don't live in Southeast no more. Right. It's not a 20-minute drive home. It's a 45-minute to an hour drive home from a vet.
Especially if you come into the city.
Yes. If you come back. That's why I like it at Silver Spring, because I was straight up 29 boom home. True, you know what I'm saying?
So the Elkridge joints are probably even better for you in theory.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But I haven't gone to any up there.
But location wise.
Yes, location wise. Yeah.
So it would take the right event there. Would actually be if the right event, right promoter throwing something there that you want to attend.
Correct. Like Havana Nights was there.
Noted. Someone off screen is saying Havana Nights will not be out there again.
No more for that particular event. That particular venue. The Havana Nights venue is closed to the public. Right.
And that so I didn't just to not go too deep into that one. Like that Havana Nights, I didn't make it for the entire thing. Okay. I had to DJ somewhere else, but I showed up afterwards. That was a nice venue.
Was a nice venue.
That was really nice venue.
Super nice venue.
I've been to that venue many times. Watch but
the camera's gonna cut half of this out.
That particular night. Oh my god! Oh, it was so well decorated. Right. Yeah, the decor was.
So Hector, if you guys are looking for spaces for Havana Nights this year, I was told that one is not available anymore. Got inside information.
There's a price for everything. I'm gonna throw that out there. There's a price for everything.
Like there's a number that. I mean,
there really is though.
That's such a true statement.
Now the number might be too expensive.
Yeah, but there's
a number for everything.
There's a number for almost everything,
right.
though. Like, so.
There's a number for everything.
Yeah. So, I think I personally don't like what we're seeing now with a lot of the events popping up at the same date and time. Because I think there's, on the one hand, there's a lack of communication, but on the other hand, it's just unfortunate timing.
Yeah. It splits the vibes to me, honestly.
And that's actually where I was going to go, and I was going to also add on a couple things. So you named a bunch of factors that I think play a role in why, in my humble opinion, right? Again, I'm not like your typical patron, so it's just me just looking at it from the standpoint of I know these people who throw the parties, I know the people who hang out in the parties, all that stuff, right? Like the DMV itself is such a large area, right? There was a time I think where everything was concentrated in DC, but there are a lot of people who live in Baltimore or up in that area. The people who live in Virginia. So one, location I think does matter drastically, right? 2, I don't think the DC Caribbean scene is as active as it used to be, where you can throw multiple events at the same time and expect that both events are going to do well, right? So now, in my opinion, what ends up happening is you throw 2 events, and it doesn't even always have to be the same time. Even the same day, if there's a certain amount of overlap, it's like one event is either going to do better than the other, or both events just aren't going to do that well, right? And to me, if there's an opportunity to for both events to happen at different times and everybody eats, why not? I'd rather go to 2 events. Like I'm definitely not even attempting 2 events on the same day anymore. Like that The only time I could even think about that is when it's DC Carnival weekend or Hooky weekend.
Yeah.
And even then, the amount of drinking that we do at some of those events, honestly, if I get home and I take a shower and I take a nap, the likelihood of me making a night event after I did like Hooky, not Hooky, like Lions Pride in the morning, bro, like the likelihood of me making it to an event in the evening, unless I have to work, probably not gonna happen. Or I'm gonna show up super late, which is a whole nother issue with people like I think showing up to events, to your point, an hour left in the event and then complaining that that the event's not like didn't play all the music they wanted to hear.
See, I don't ever have that issue because people always tell me like, yo, Aunt, you be opening them bitch up.
You showing up with the DJs?
Yo, a lot of times that's how I am. It's like I've always been that way. It's like if I want to go out, I was like, I'm gonna go out from early.
Is that the American in you?
I don't know what it is. It's the Federer in me, I guess. Right. I don't know.
Like, well answered, sir.
So what's your reason? What's your rationale for that?
I just want to, I guess.
Like you just want to be there when the joint starts?
Like, here's the thing. Okay.
He's like, I don't give a shit if anybody else in this motherfucker. I am here. I'm going
to pregame, obviously. I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a given.
I might get to the venue early,
but not actually walk in
and sit in the car for a little bit, have a little trunk line or whatever.
Nothing's wrong with that.
Okay. And just chill for a little bit.
Yeah.
But listen, if I'm paying my money to go somewhere, like I want to get the entire my money's worth. Okay?
Right.
Even if it's only $20.
Right. No, I agree.
I rock with that.
I'm not as bad, but I'm kind of the same way. Like I don't typically like to get to stuff too late because I have a point where I like to get in and kind of vibe when it's not packed.
Yeah.
I enjoy getting a couple of drinks when it's not really packed and just kind of listening to it and enjoying it. But I also just enjoy the music. So
me too.
I can have fun there until the crowd gets there and then let that build, as opposed to now I'm walking in and I'm like moving through the crowd, just trying to get to the bar, just trying to get a beverage or so.
Exactly. That's a good point because I like to establish my spot early.
It's like, I gotta piss on my territory.
It's like I come and I establish dominance.
This is where I'm gonna be. But I also, when I'm in a party, I also just bounce around.
Yeah.
Or I'll be at the very front.
Right.
Okay. Right. And that's just where I am. So
he would party well with Patrice Nadal. Bumping in the front of the stage.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes my boys will be like, they'll come to the party. They'll be like, yo, where Ann at? They'll be like, you know where he at. And they just go to the front.
So in Trinidad, are you the same way? Like, you up in the front?
He don't know. He ain't been there since 2016, bro. Like,
no,
good point.
Good
point. Like the
he don't remember.
It's too far. It's too far back.
He don't remember. He was a different person then.
when I was there, yes, I am in the front.
Oh yeah, no, me too. That's one of those things where
it's a different feeling up there.
Dog, even as much as I'm getting right, like Dre is in the back. We always joke with Dre. His sister got all the vibes. His sister's older.
Yeah,
she took all
does
the
actually.
vibes,
all
the vibes. Left Dre nothing, dog.
Yeah, she left me with the talent. She has the vibes. That's fine.
So like to your point, I'm with you. I like being in the front. I like being in the crowd.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I like the access to an area to chill.
Yeah.
I like the access to an area to sit or whatever because the knees don't. The joints. They're getting old, dog. The joints don't do what they used to, dog. So I can't pump whole fat again. At some point,
you stop bringing him in again, dog.
Yeah, and once the check engine light come on the knees, it's like, all right, let me go hold up corner and chill for a moment.
You're soaking in Epsom salt or?
Right, I have to. You know what I'm saying? Coming in, dog, leaving Fets looking like it's Game 7 of the finals, dog. Like just
ice knees one time.
Iced up, just sitting on the bench, just like, all right, we gotta do this again tomorrow, huh? But truth be told, like in the moment, in the instant, I'm a partier. I'm in the front. I'm front and center. I'm partying. So I don't typically have as much fun from the spectator perspective of it. Yeah. So even now that I'm actually doing photos more in Fets, like I'm still there, but like in the middle of it while I'm even taking the photos. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I try not to be too far removed from the actual event because I'll be in there sober. Like no drink. I think the last couple of things I went to, I drank this weekend. Okay. At Strictly the Best. Okay. But the last couple that I went to without drinking, I still had as much fun as when I was drinking.
So I've started to believe, probably always knew this, but just never really put much thought into it. I think that like the alcohol, maybe not for you guys because you all are natural partiers anyway, right? Mm-hmm. I think that alcohol helps a lot of people like remove their guarded nature. I think a lot of people are just so guarded in general.
Bro, wait, you just started to
like I don't know, like I guess for me, like I've always looked at it from the standpoint of like, for me, I don't need to drink to have a good time. Right. Okay. I drink because I enjoy drinking. Right. Mm-hmm. But to your point, the last few parties, because I'm trying to get ready for Melee, I haven't been drinking. Like Chris told me, you get 1 day a week of either a cheat meal or drinking. Mm-hmm. So Guys Unpacked is my drink. I don't do cheat meals. Like all I'm doing is drinking. And as you can see, there's no juice, so there's no added like sugar because this is all empty calories. Like, and even then, I'm sitting here like, damn, I'm gonna have to run a little bit harder tomorrow to kind of burn and flush the shit out, right? Mm-hmm. But all that aside, it's insane how a party could be well attended, but until the alcohol really hits, like people just be chilling, dog, and I hate that too.
But don't you think that that's literally just in the States when that happens? Because you don't think so?
Matter of fact, I'll even go a step further. So I know he hates parties like Soca in Trinidad. What I'll say is, so it's not specifically soca, but like
no, but that's not even a fair statement because you're saying I hate parties like soca.
Sorry.
I love soca.
He hates
I hate racists
and colorism. All right, fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't because you're making me seem like I got no vibes. Soca was fun.
Okay. But like the point I'm trying to make though is like, if you look at a more uptown party versus a more midtown downtown party. Uptown parties, though usually more visually appealing, to me at least, take
more white.
I never said that.
more white.
Take longer to build because I think a lot of times it's, it's your doctors, your lawyers, your engineers, it's all these high echelon people who are attending who are like, oh, I'm used to corporate shit, so I just chill. But then when that liquor hits, they look like everybody else, and then it's like it's fun, but I would say more midtown, downtown parties, whether it's because people are pre-gaming or people just don't care as much, whatever, they end up partying harder from earlier. Again, in my opinion.
Right. So I feel like then you kind of made Anthony's point a little bit.
Oh yeah, I wasn't denying it. I was just adding color to it.
Because to Soca, you were adding color to it. They're not gonna allow you back. They're not gonna allow you back. You violating the rules.
No, but I see what you're saying though. It's like it's just some people need alcohol to have vibes.
That's so sad.
It's not even. See, I think y'all are.
And I'm not saying that in a bad way.
No, but I think you guys are both putting a lot of. I don't think it's that they needed to have vibes. Like there's a certain level of inhibition, and some people just don't have it until they've really. And that cool down could come from anything. Some people use weed. Some people use alcohol.
We like some people term cannabis, sir.
Okay. I would like Rihanna to not be pregnant for A$AP Rocky. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we're not getting today. It's still weed, bro. It's been weed since I was a child, and it's still weed. But some people use alcohol. Some people listen to music on the way there, and the music is the thing. But so whatever it is, and I think we can all agree, alcohol is just because it naturally releases some of your inhibitions. Yeah. And it's so heavily pushed in these events. Like, is a cool effect, is an all-inclusive, is a this. All the liquor sponsors are all over Trinidad. So, like, for these type of events, it's just so heavily pushed. You walk in and they hand you a shot. You know what I mean?
We've done that.
But I'm just talking about event, like, the event's already all-inclusive. So I can already go to the bar and get a drink.
They're going to hand me a shot.
But then as I walk in...
We want you to take a shot early.
Right. And then, so now I'm chilling. And I have a girl walking around with more shots. So I could walk to the bar and get one. But why walk to the bar when you're bringing it to me? So I'm just saying, like, the concept is...
We want to limit the amount of work you have to do to get drunk, sir.
But so back to the point of the alcohol is already so heavily pushed as a part of the event anyway, that naturally it is going to cause those people to now free up a little bit more because they're getting more alcohol than they probably even planned on having when they came out. So, you know what I'm saying? So, agree with both of you. Like, good.
I'm gonna drink.
But last point though on this topic, kind of going back to what I said before, like the showing up to events late. So you show up early because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you are also a minority when it comes to this because as people who throw parties, like most times,
or even just attend parties.
Right. Like most times, I'm there for the entire event if it's my event, right?
Yeah.
So I'm helping out at the door. I'm, whether DJing, whatever it is, and I'm just counting down and I'm thinking like, all right, so how are we gonna frame this music? Because we don't want to play all the hot shit while nobody's there.
Right.
We want to save it. We also want to make sure there's still a vibe. So it's like there's all these levers being pulled. I'm sure you have friends who show up late to events. Like, what do you think could get people to decide to come out earlier than they typically do?
Well, I guess some of my friends, they'll like, we'll go early if you go. It's like they'll come with me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, but if you want to get people to come out early, I guess, I mean, free drinks.
Would that get people to come out early though? Free drinks?
If you said, okay, party start at 9, it's an open bar from 9 to 10. Niggas will come for an open bar.
I don't believe so.
Not only do I not believe so, I've seen that not work.
I mean, that's the reason why I don't believe so.
Yeah, like because I've gone out.
You guys are the promoters,
but not even just that. No, I'm strictly speaking as a patron. I've gone out for the open bar until such and such time.
Yeah.
And it'll still be me and 4 or 5 people there.
Right.
True.
And then the vibe still won't build till later. So like, because I'm about the free alcohol, which is why I'm saying like I don't even think that works in all settings for all events. But then the crazy thing is, you go to, say, use Brainwash as an example, right? Because that's usually an example for a lot of things.
Niggas be there from
Brainwash, folks are there from early. Even use a local example. I remember back in the Skyline days.
Hooky?
At 12 o'clock, the doors open for Hooky.
Yes.
And it ram out from the doors open. Like,
and the irony is that it wasn't always like that. Because so I was there for the very first few Hookies.
Well, that's not fair because there weren't many people there.
No, I get that. I get that. But so the point I'm making though is like clearly something happens that determines.
But I'm saying that was
people
once,
to show up early.
That was once. But that's what I'm saying. Once the party got popular,
right?
Let's say by like year 3 or year 4, you literally had the doors opening at 12. Setup is still happening. And you look outside and there's a line of people waiting to get in at 12 noon. You know what I'm saying?
So does that mean that a party has to be super established before?
I feel like if the party is established and people know the vibes is from early, because that's when Hooky was doing free rum punch or free drinks. Free something from 12 to 2.
Okay.
So it actually
was alcohol related.
I believe so. But I believe so because it was like the first 2 hours was free alcohol.
Yeah.
And
it's
folks,
like 2014, 2015.
Yeah. Folks showed up early for that. So I mean I guess it depends on the party.
Gotcha.
I guess it also depends on the party.
I also just like atmosphere and vibe. It's like so. It's like if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna just go out and enjoy.
I would make you the mascot of one of my parties. You and Dev.
Mascot.
Bro, like no, seriously. Like there's certain people who like I just love their energy. Right? Like alcohol related or not, like they just have that energy where it's super carefree. Like to me, that is the essence of partying. It's not me. Who I go to a party, and for me, it's more or less I'm really just watching. I'm taking stuff in. I'm listening to the DJ or stuff. But so I know I'm a little bit different than the average person. But I'm also not paying to come to these events. To me, I do not understand how somebody pays to go to a party and doesn't party. Don't get it twisted. Every party I gotta pay for. I'm like you. I'm enjoying every fucking moment.
Yeah.
So Soca, as I walk in, because I have to pay for Soca.
See, that's me and Brainwash. Like $200. I'm going
right.
And the thing is, like, with Brainwash, there's so much stuff to take in, and then there's so many food options that it's like, that's the next thing that brings me.
I gotta hop in line to make sure I
can get food will bring me out early, too, because I'm not trying to eat while the party's pumping. So I want to eat before the vibe builds. So if it's an all-inclusive, I'm typically there a little bit earlier because I want to, chill on that vibe. So, all right. So we talked about parties. What are you looking forward to this summer party-wise in the DC area? Here's the thing. What are you looking forward to? What would you like to see?
Well, obviously,
and let's flip it. Let's do the like to see first, and then the parties that he's interested in. Because I'm more interested in what you would like to see.
Right, which is why it's last.
Honestly, like I'm always looking forward to Hooky Weekend. Like that's That is probably my favorite. That's my favorite weekend in DC. Okay, so I always look forward to Juve. Whatever they got happening with Juve, that's what I'm looking. That's my thing. That's my thing.
Juneteenth weekend this year, June 16th to the 20th.
So just like what they did last year, like the way they.
The last year they were able to have it, or
last
year
when
they did
last year
I mean where they had everything versus.
Okay.
Well, what I'm thinking, I'm talking about like
Juve itself.
This past
2021.
Yeah, just how they took the complaints that we had from the Juve before with the trucks and the drinks and how they actually listened to what patrons said and fixed it and made it better. Okay. And that is one of the things that I look for, and that's why I'm loyal to going to like hooky events because it's like, oh, you guys really listen to what it is that we want, and it's always a good vibe. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Juve. I'm looking forward to basically everything hooky weekend. Honestly.
Okay. So what would you like to see? Like what would you like to see in the DMV area, party wise, event wise, whatever?
I would actually like to see, at some point, a road experience actually on the road somewhere.
So you want DC Carnival?
You want
DC Carnival?
So what color unicorn do you want?
A black one.
So I'll be real with you. Like we don't got to dig deep in this one just yet because I think there's a lot of positives to go around it. It's actually not as hard to pull off as a lot of people think. Even like, and the only reason I say this,
we could skip some of this shit. Why do you say that?
So there
some of this shit we could get to another week. I want to hear. Okay. I want to hear more on this.
Okay, so the big issue, which to me is not even a really big issue, is making sure that we can afford it, right? Okay. Because in the past, what happened a lot of times was we were able to have it. We were kind of on credit to the city, and then didn't pay our bills.
2 years,
right? Now, a lot of that has to do with like simple shit like monetizing the event itself, whether it's through sponsorships or grants or whatever it is, right? There is, with this influx of people coming into the city, there is a need for culture. So piggybacking, teaching the DC area about like not the road itself, but like carnival culture across the Caribbean. Okay. There are pieces that you can get the government to actually support. The road part's the easy part for us, right? Like we can find the money to do this. Like to me, and maybe that's just my business hat that I have on. Like money's really easy to find. You just got to find like who is willing to give it. Okay. And there's always people willing to give it. Okay. Back to what we were saying before, there's just a price for everything. Like what is the rationale behind them giving it, right? Okay. Or paying for it. So that aspect is, to me, is fairly easy. There's nothing that says there can't be DC Carnival. I think.
Oh, there is. It's called the DC government. They have said
no. The DC government has not said that there isn't potential for a carnival. They have not said that carnival cannot happen.
Okay. So I remember the year after it shut down, a man threw a party outside of Love. Attempted to throw a party outside of Love, but it was going to be on the street. And because the name Carnival was associated with that party, they shut it down. It was a private event. They would not allow anything dealing with road closures. Right. So what I'm saying is, yes, they have said that in so many words.
Right, but that is a combination, I think, of politics, which can be dealt with.
Oh, I'm not saying no.
But then, and also making sure that we remedy some of the issues that have occurred from before, right?
Right. So what I'm saying is, as of right now, they have said. I'm just saying that they have said no to the concept of it. Right, so what we're working on now is the changing that no to a yes.
Right.
But because it's not like we could just go and say, "Hey, June something, we want to do this."
Right. Yeah. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So they have shut the door on that right now.
Right. Like essentially, I guess that the part that to me should have, I guess it's silent, but should just be assumed anyway, is in order to throw DC Carnival, you have to talk to the government anyway. So if I go to the government and say, hey, I'm willing to fully fund DC Carnival, they are going to say, here are our stipulations. This is what needs to happen in order for this to happen. And they might go over and beyond to try not let it happen. Okay. But there still has to be something that shows this is what we have. These are the hoops that we have to jump through to make it happen. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, so some of the hoops are the things that really haven't been said, where somebody decides they're just going to throw a party, and then they're like, oh no, that's just Carnival, can't happen. So we're saying the same thing, but you're saying it, I think, just from a different angle.
So, what do you think it would take? Because I hear everything you say, right?
Sure.
If it would be that quote unquote simple, why has no one in, what are we now, 10, 11 years?
More than that. Yeah.
No, it's about 10 years, because the last one was what, 2012?
Yeah, matter of fact, it's about 10 years.
So
10
10 years.
Yep.
No one's been able to do it.
I think that is actually a good reflection of the people who have the social capital. So when I say social capital, I'm talking about more the promoters. People who can technically reach out to the masses and say, hey, we're doing this thing. I think a lot of those people, how do I say this diplomatically? A lot of those people are very keen to look at the dollars and cents of it. And if they aren't able to see where the money's coming in, they'll kind of shoot it down, right? And again, this is all opinion from outside. I haven't actually spoken to anybody. Okay. I think that there's that piece of it. I don't think I honestly also don't believe that there's one entity that can do it. Like we can arguably say Hooky Life is the biggest entity right now from like that kind of scene in the city, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hooky Life, as great as they're doing, is not big enough to bring DC Carnival back to DC by themselves, right? No. So another problem, we would need multiple influential people to come to the table to make this happen. It's like, I think the world of myself, I couldn't do it. I think the world of a lot of people, they couldn't do it by themselves. But there are a number of people that if they can put their egos aside, put like this idea of making it a profit for them individually and look at it more of paying homage to the culture, making that the priority. If we got a really, really good group of people to come together and all do like the fucking, was it Captain Planet? And like, no, like not Captain Planet, but you know what I'm saying? All the people with the rings and shit. Yo, if everybody can come together and be like, all right, this is my strength. And it's not just promoters, right? It's also people who understand the government. Right. Like if everyone could come together, understand that no one is the head of it all, but we all have strengths that we can bring to the table. And whether it's a project manager or somebody can help bring all the things together, bro, DC Carnival could totally come back to DC. What I think is going to end up happening, if DC ever has a carnival again, it ain't going to be one of us. It's going to be some white person that loves the culture enough to figure out how to do it. And then, unfortunately, we're going to fall in line and be like, okay, Massa, what do you need us to do? What do you need me to do? Like, I feel like that's what it's going to end up being if, and I would love to be proven wrong, but I believe that is probably the nearest thing to happen as far as bringing DC Carnival back. Some white person thinking that it needs to come back.
What do you think?
You know what? I don't know all the ins and outs of it, so I don't know. I'm gonna defer to him on this. I don't know. Like, I want it back. I think it's more so of a kind of a nostalgic thing because actually DC Carnival 2008 was my very first carnival experience.
Okay.
Yeah, like on the road, right on Georgia Avenue. Mm-hmm. That was my first experience.
First carnival ever.
Uh-huh.
And back then, Carnival was epic, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, so to me, so I grew up in DC Carnival.
Yeah.
Right? So my parents and their counterparts were the group that actually brought DC Carnival to DC. Right? So even before there was DC Carnival, they used to have like Georgia Avenue Day that we used to kind of take part in. And then they used to have all these other little things that we took part in, and eventually they were like, you know what? How do we bring a carnival together? Right. And they figured out how to bring it all together. Of course, there were a lot less hoops to jump through. So I was in that from like day one. My dad was a DJ. He was at the time they DJ'd for Masqueraders, which is one of the bands before everyone else came back, like Breakaway and all this other stuff. So I got to see it from day one, and I didn't actually see the value in it because I was so young. But like I remember growing up and just seeing more and more and more people coming out, and then also getting to go to other carnivals. And in my opinion, and maybe this is a little biased, but in my opinion, DC Carnival was actually, for North America, I'd say top 5 carnivals.
What?
You're not agreeing, or you are agreeing?
Top 5?
North America.
In North America.
North America. So
hold on. You might be right. Hold on. Wait. Right, because you're saying North America.
Yeah.
So
Clearly
Toronto,
Miami, New York,
Atlanta,
okay.
New York,
okay.
DC.
I think DC was bigger than Atlanta.
Okay, so there were 5, and it was the second to last.
No.
We didn't name them in order.
There are way more than
right,
just
but the
5,
other,
though.
but even like the at the time, because I think it was probably better than Atlanta probably was at the time.
100% better.
So
it was actually way bigger too. So like
right, so okay, I'll give you top 5, but because there's not.
But
there aren't 4. I can't think of 4 other options.
But okay, so I want you to take that though. Also with this.
Although Boston, I heard I've never been to Boston.
Boston was alright, but Boston wasn't. So
I've never been, but I've always heard good things.
Here's the reason why I placed it there. Like it's not just for the sheer size, right? But it's played a role in it. People would travel, and I'm not talking about a few people here and there. People would travel to DC for it, right? Where
I got here late, right?
Right.
I was very unimpressed by the 2 that I attended.
What years were those?
The 2 of the last ones, like 10 and 11.
They were shit by then.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like so. My experience of it was like very little actual. I grew up with masks.
Sure.
I love costume masks.
So yeah, they used to be that.
When I got here, it was a lot of T-shirt bands and the mud and the paint, and so it was like, all right, so this is just daytime Juve.
Sure.
And a couple of costumes that I think like Blue Tantrum. Nope, they were. I felt like that was T-shirts and B's. What I saw was unimpressive to me visually.
Yeah. If the only ones you saw were like those 2 years, then
right, and I was like, I had fun because I'm on the road and there's music and I'm drinking.
Sure.
So I'm have fun, but if I'm gonna take a step back and critique it from a Carnival standpoint, it was
100% agree. 100% agree. So so like before then,
okay. So,
and I would say, matter of fact, so there was a year that we ended up actually being on Constitution Avenue.
Okay.
1 year that was on Constitution Avenue.
I heard about that.
Right. So the reason why I chose that year was because everything to me that's the marker when it started going downhill. When like shit just wasn't coming together. And yes, we would still be out there because it was still something to do and we still want to be Carnival. But everything prior to that, bruh. So the mud band, yes, like that's one of those things. That was always the last band.
And I'm not even knocking it.
No, I know.
But I'm just saying it got to the point where that was what.
Sure.
And the red paint was
it's like Baltimore Carnival.
That's what Baltimore. Yeah.
That's what Baltimore Carnival. Like so.
Which I really enjoy, by the way.
Of course.
And another thing, though, don't get me wrong.
I enjoy it
from just go out and jump up standpoint.
Yeah.
I enjoy it because it's like, and then it's a free for all. So even like from a business perspective, I don't have to spend any money.
Correct.
I could buy a bottle of liquor and go out to Georgia Avenue and chip up and down Georgia Avenue from one batch. So as a patron, I'm having a ball.
Right.
But if you're asking me to rate it I would not suggest it to anybody who's like, hey, you want to see a beautiful carnival? Come to DC. No.
There was a point though where like it was very mass heavy.
Okay.
And the reason, so they always had the mud band last because clearly that's like, this is Ducky Moss, right?
Right.
But like you had Breakaway, who was Tony Castor? Breakaway. Jackie and Associates. Like, so there's a whole bunch of bands and Baltimore would come down, whatever. There was a point where like, so Sound City from New York. So that's where Back to Basics started. They came, like they would hire them to come down and play. Who's the next one from Boston? Sound Inc.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I tell you people used to come into town, it was all New York would come down, people from Miami would come down. And so I give Miami, so Miami is always dope. I'm not going to knock that, right? But Miami to me is like an outlier because it literally is during a time where it's cold everywhere else and everybody wants to get away anyway, right? Okay. So to me, I put an asterisk around Miami.
I don't put an asterisk on Miami because I think Miami also has a lot of the timing beyond it being cold, right?
Sure.
Because you get a lot of promoters from Trinidad who will come and throw parties there,
right?
And
that's more so now. Like that wasn't always the case,
right? So I'm talking about now. I'm talking about recently, right?
Oh yeah, no. But I'm talking about the context of like, but back then, why? Because when DC Carnival was a thing, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So in that respect, I'll give you top 5 because at the time,
Right.
One, you're saying there was costume masks, and I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So if there's good costume masks and it's known, then
let me bring it back, though.
No.
Let us like
Nope.
mastermind a group to bring that shit back, bro.
No. I'm good.
I'm all
the way.
shit.
I'm all the way good, though.
That was my fault.
No.
Bring that up.
No. I'm not mad. No.
Oh no. I'm not mad either.
Because I would love to see it come back. Just if from nothing else, an event standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, because with an actual sanctioned associated carnival, it gives you the opportunity event wise to throw bigger, better events.
Sure.
So it would be great if it came back and it was done right. Because again, I love masks. I love seeing costume masks. Mm-hmm. So I would be definitely playing a mask on whatever street, avenue, road they have it on, right? But the break, like, I don't want to be a part of the bringing it back, because that's work that I'm not. Like, if for 10 years, all of these big established groups all said, nah, not me, then
I would totally do it. But again, it would have to be like, if people could just throw their ego out the window and come together on the shit, I would totally be a part of that shit.
I think in reality, the group that does it probably shouldn't contain a bunch of promoters either. Like,
that's why I said it's gonna be a white person.
Yeah, it probably is. I don't think it should be, because even like in what you were saying earlier with like people putting egos together, I don't think any consortium of promoters can get together
Exactly
and pull that off. I think it needs to be someone. I think one, you need a politician. Yeah. You absolutely need someone who is,
at the very least, a lobbyist.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some business people, some stakeholders.
Some financiers.
Right. You need the people who.
Dre McCall over here.
Right.
That's why I say, like, I would totally be a part of it.
But then if you're a part of it, like, in reality, I would rather not, because also I don't think the people involved in it should also be throwing events.
So that's the thing. Like, so for me, being a part of it, it would totally be from a behind the scenes, like, making sure all of the T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and I wouldn't even want to throw an event. Like, for me, it would totally be, how do we bring this back, but also make it educational, because I'm looking big picture, long journey ahead. It's like, I want that the wider that DC is getting, they're looking forward to it, but not because of what they would probably look at and be like, okay, that's a little bit much. It's, I'm looking forward to it because I can bring my kids out and understand
and actually,
that culture and all those other things. So
I had a conversation with a promoter today about just that, of that concept of, now that the demographic in DC is changing, it is actually a good time to approach it from a cultural standpoint.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You're not even approaching it from a party or from that. You're looking at the history of mass, the history of Pan, the history of Carnival, how it originated, all of those things.
Yep.
And if they can present that to the city, especially June, Caribbean Heritage Month, you present that to the city like, hey, this is what the Carnival is and should have been. Yep. We understand what it degenerated into. Mm-hmm. What we would like to do is reestablish this way. Here's how we're going to finance and fund it.
Yep.
So, because we understand, like, with the issue, the story was, when the recession hit, the city stopped paying for the police and the road closure and all that other stuff, and they told the commission, you would have to fund it yourself. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that there's still a recession, or maybe there is, but but I don't think the city is in the financial strains.
Sure.
It was.
We're not affected like other cities are.
Right. So at the time, some costs had to be cut because of what was going on in the government, and that was the cost they chose to cut. If I don't know the city's budget or finances, but I'm like, hey, you guys used to pay for this, right? This used to be a thing that you funded.
No, so the city never funded it.
They said they did.
So
at least that was the story. That was literally how the story went. So that they basically either not funded it, but they did not charge the commission for the police and the road closures.
So that was part of the problem. So the DC Caribbean community, the DC Carnival Committee, whatever the hell, Caribbean Carnival Committee, they were supposed to be responsible for funding it, and that was part of the issue.
But for how long though? Because at least the story
each year.
So at least here's the story that they put out, because I remember I had screenshotted and everything, that the city funded it.
Well, they ended up having to because they didn't get paid for.
Right, and then one year, the year when like everything, the financial downturn, they decided, hey, we're no longer going to be able to do this. when they told them that, it was too close to Carnival for them to just cancel it. So they were like, okay, we will
Constitution Avenue.
Right, we will fund it. No, it wasn't Constitution Avenue that year.
It was
Georgia.
Okay.
Right. So it was like, we will pay for it this year. We will continue, but you owe us. You have to pay us.
Oh yes, you're right.
They were like, we'll fund it. You guys, I think it was like $50,000.
And it was supposed to pay back, but they still didn't.
And then they were supposed to pay it back the next year, and they told them, all right, we'll let you carry this debt, but you still have to pay back from last year.
And they just didn't.
And they didn't pay back them too. And then the third year,
and that's why,
guys, when men can't even use Carnival. If you walk on the street and say Carnival too loud, the police go kick you off the street now. So So I think either it's something where whoever this new committee, whoever you guys are, can come up with the annual funding and say, okay, you know what is this going to cost us for police, road closures, street cleaning, whatever it is, the costs are associated with this. If you let us know today, and here's the caveat, I am not paying back the debt from those old people.
I would.
No,
But go ahead.
I'm just saying I'm coming to the negotiating table, right? I'm not walking into this $120,000 in the hole.
I see what you're saying. I'm not going to agree to that unless you tell me I have.
Right, until you tell me that is the only. And that would mean you had to have agreed to all my other terms. Because I'm not starting there. I'm starting with, I am not willing to pay back their debt.
Right, because I have nothing to do with that shit.
And no one on this committee was a member of that committee.
Correct.
That could be a caveat.
That totally has to be a caveat.
No one
has to.
No one associated with this was associated with that.
Right.
And furthermore, no one will be moving forward. So not only are they not today, they won't be able to come in on this later.
Our bylaws.
Right?
They all old anyway, so we wouldn't want them anyway.
So I'm not
ageist.
Yeah, I'm very
right.
Like
really
Soca, but for old people.
Right.
So
really though, really,
y'all brought up Soca though, so you know that's a trigger. So
it really is.
So, so I'm not. But fine, let me know how much it is moving forward.
Sure.
I will pay it moving forward, or me and my group, my consortium will pay it moving forward.
Even if it's a premium, I'll pay for it.
Whatever it is, we're willing to pay it in advance. So we don't even want to bill.
Oh, you're nice.
Here's why we saying that, because you gotta come to the table with something. So look, we'll fundraise and we'll pay for it in advance so that you guys know you're getting your money.
Right.
But we also want to make sure we emphasize some sort of panorama.
Yes.
We want to make
all
sure
the
we
education
emphasize
of it.
actual Juve, replaying of the Camboulet riots, Old Mass. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to make sure.
See, so why
I would want all of that stuff.
Because that's what I'm saying. Why don't you want to? Because honestly,
because that is a lot of work.
It does work. Yeah, I don't want to do work.
Right.
I just don't want to do work.
I want to come out.
What if
enjoy?
What if it's a paid position? Because to your point, I do believe that it would, from a planning standpoint, there would need to be a stipend of sorts, because it will be a lot of work, but it would be totally worth it though. And I think because essentially I think it would end up being bigger and more impactful than the oldies carnival, which not you so much, but we loved.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying?
Again, and it's not that I didn't love it.
Right,
I loved it from what I did.
You just came late, so yeah.
But even I loved it from what I experienced.
You come late to the podcast.
Yeah.
Make sure you come on time next time, though.
I didn't live in the area then, so. But I think like I said, I think it's doable. So I'm gonna walk back what I said earlier.
Yeah.
I think it is doable. I just don't think I don't know that anything we're saying now has any impact, because the government or whoever it is that has to make the final decision, pull the trigger, may be totally like, no, it's none of that. I just don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sure.
It could be someone sitting there like, I didn't like it. So
I watch Billions. Season's still on right now.
Yeah.
Dog, the price of everything.
No, I agree.
Even if somebody don't like it, we can make this shit happen.
No, totally agree. I believe there is. I just think that, like you said earlier, sometimes that price is too steep, where it's like,
right.
I am paying $1 million to bring DC a year, every year, giving them $1 million. We're not making $1 million from DC Carnival. So, but that would be Anthony with the what he would like gem.
I mean, yeah.
He can be like Jerry West, so Jerry West is like the logo.
The logo.
And you can be the logo for DC Carnival.
And with effect. So you're gonna try that for 23?
Yes.
He bought
you bought your ticket
already.
Yeah.
He gonna be there.
You registered with Tribe yet? Oh wait, you wasn't a 2020 masquerade.
No.
So no, that wasn't even.
Stop lying.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Because I completely forgot.
I'm messing around.
That's why I'm like, because when they came out with early registration,
right,
the amount of people.
They weren't playing.
Right.
Dog, they came out with that before they even said anything about Carnival. They was like, oh yeah, we think this happening. So 150.
I mean, I did send my little wait list thing in.
Oh, me too.
Like the first day.
Oh, me too.
With the tribe specifically?
Yeah. I'm on the waiting list. I'm just waiting for them because I played with Yuma that year. The funny thing is, I play with Tribe almost every year, right?
Okay, and you decided to play Yuma.
Not even just decided. So my cousins, Ramashe Mas, pick up yourself. They had a section.
That's your cousins?
Yeah, it's my cousins.
I knew you bigged them up all the time, but
those are my cousins.
Okay.
So they had a section in Yuma.
So we could bring them down for DC Carnival.
So it was like.
Right. When we figured this all out, Ramashe Mas, you were gonna be here for DC Carnival when we figured it all out. Look at it. He's about to
They don't even want to do New York. They're not even doing New York.
Yeah, I know.
New York is and even New York is not as much as people big up New York like Labor Day.
It's just the longevity of it and the legacy behind New York.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, New York is the longest standing North American carnival. I think New York was before Toronto.
Okay. And I
think I might be wrong.
I know the parade is the biggest in the city.
Oh yeah.
They said it's the biggest parade in the city, which is why it don't matter. It almost doesn't matter how many bodies dropped. Like there was a year where it's not as bad anymore, but I remember there was a year where like 3-4 people got shot at or killed.
Dog.
And they was like, we should cancel the parade for next year.
Not gonna happen.
We're not canceling.
Bro, and what's good? So I used to.
We'll put more police out there. We're not canceling the parade.
So I used to play Pan.
Yeah.
Right. So I actually played in 2 panoramas in New York with Despers USA.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So I used to play down here.
Yeah.
And we so Pan Masters was the band who I used to play for. And quick story, I think we were buying racks or having them made or something like that. And the lead bass player from Despers USA came down either to bring them down or to help build them. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. I was young. And he heard me playing, and he was like, he told my dad, he was like, I want him in New York. So the very first year, I went up there and learned the song in 2 days, and ended up actually like knocking one of the bass players that was supposed to be playing up there, and I fell in love with New York Panorama because DC Panorama was cool, but it really and truly was Baltimore Panorama because it wasn't even a DC. Like,
all right,
it was crazy because it was not just the Panorama, but we also played for Juve.
Okay,
right. And I remember a year I'm playing for Juve because we had actually Despers won. So now I'm playing and just see a mass of people running and you hear gunshots. I'm like, so this is not like DC at all, dog. Like I'm not used to I'm not used to violence around Carnival. Like Carnival is usually a good thing. It's a happy time.
Till DC picked up and ran with that because the last Carnival.
Well, and that had nothing to do with Carnival. It doesn't. On Carnival.
It doesn't matter.
It typically doesn't in New York either.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, it typically does. Because, dog, what it normally is in the area, it's like with any gathering of people, dudes come out. Me and you had beef from long time. And now we catch each other out on the street. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because we all came out for this thing. So, yes, from that perspective.
Right.
Or sometimes it's just we out on our block, a block or two away from the parade. And same scenario.
Pop off.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because we came out, because there's normally like you outside. You're not going to walk all the way out to Eastern Parkway, but we going to come out and we going to barbecue and we go chill here and we going to play our music here.
Right.
And then again, stuff happens. So it's the same scenario like what happened here in D.C. where the dudes from up George Avenue, whatever street that was,
fuck this shit up.
Yeah, so, all right. We got time to hit one of these topics, right?
I think the next main topic, like, I don't want to do the closeout topics. The next main topic.
What do you consider the next main topic?
We talking about the Deshaun Watson, the Chris Brown, the Bill Cosby.
I wanted to do love languages, but okay, we could do that.
How about we just do both? Like we cover one very quickly.
We absolutely don't have time to do both. Because we absolutely don't have. I mean, we could do that. I'm just saying.
My vote is for love languages.
Right, because I'm just saying going from party and DC Carnival.
Because it's
how we get to.
Sorry, people. Sorry. So I was gonna talk about something, but I got outvoted.
Because you talk.
1.5.
It just makes sense right now. It just makes sense right now.
All right. So
we're gonna talk about that at another date then.
Yes.
I do believe it's important enough for us to talk about. And just to let you all know, the topic itself has.
We don't have to. Yeah, let's not even intro it if we're not gonna do it. So
sorry, even though I said names, and y'all can probably figure it out.
So we gotta first off, two things. Got a request from a person. What was he? Oh yeah. So real quick, Anthony.
Yes.
What to you is what are your thoughts on Andre YouTube?
Of course.
You're dating someone in a relationship, etc., and they decide they wanted to make a major change to their appearance, like shaved head, tattoo, surgery, whatever. Do they need to consult you on that as for approval, or is it something that they can just do and you just gotta and just so you know, you're not casually dating.
Okay.
This is boo.
Okay. So
this is wifey.
So I will say this: it doesn't have to be a getting approval, but if you're in a relationship and it's serious, that person is going to probably come to you and ask your opinion. Like, do you think I should do this? And this is why I want to do this. These are the pros and cons.
I think to his question though. So
wait, no.
But they don't need my approval.
But you think?
But I think that if you're in a serious relationship,
okay,
that it should be a conversation.
So
because, I mean, it could be drastic.
Right. Absolutely. So wait, hold on.
Sorry.
So you have that conversation and you tell them, I don't want you to do that. Mm-hmm. And they do it anyway.
Well, actually, what would you like? Would you say I don't want you, or would you just say you don't think it's a good idea?
See, for me, the way that I would do it, I would be like, okay, this is okay.
It's like I'm a Jedi mind trick.
No, not Jedi mind trick. Okay, you want to do this. Okay, this is my opinion. Okay, I know why you want to do it. These are the pros and cons. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But this is my opinion. Is okay.
You gonna mansplain?
I'm not gonna mansplain. I'm gonna just be like, yo, I think that this is my outlook. I don't think that this is a good idea for this reason, or I think it's a good idea for this reason. Okay. Whatever. We can basically
you gonna whiteboard it. You gonna like pros, cons.
Maybe whiteboard it. I mean,
I mean, like not formally, but like.
Yeah. So let me ask you. You come to the decision that you don't think it's a good idea, right? That's and in your pros and cons, you are presenting more cons than pros.
Okay.
She does it anyway. Mm-hmm. What are you just like? What is your reaction to that? If after you've kind of, without saying don't do it, you've expressed that you're not really keen on it. It's not something you would like.
Your body, your choice.
Okay.
That was a little diplomatic fucking answer.
No, I mean, no, but that really is how it is. I mean, because I can think one thing till I'm blue in the face.
It wouldn't matter.
It's not gonna matter.
Sure. I'm not that it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't be the determining factor at the end of the day.
No. So it's like, but to me, if you're in a relationship and you're communicating with one another and it's open lines of communication, you should be able to talk these things through. So it's like most people, if they, I guess, respect their partner or they respect the bond, the relationship there, they're going to communicate these types of things.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But still, at the end of the day, is your body like if I shave my beard off,
So if your girl done told you don't shave the beard.
Yes.
And if you shave it, you think it's hard slap.
It's like
she's not gonna.
She doesn't.
What do you think she would do? You come one day you just better. One day you're lining it up and you nick a little too far. And like shit, I gotta just shave it off and start over. But you didn't get a chance to tell her. You just clean. She come on your baby face.
You ever see the little video? It's like the dad walks into the room and his daughter sees him with his beard shaved off and she just starts crying.
Yeah,
it'd probably be like that.
So it's funny. Like I'm not gonna answer the question because I want you to answer the question, but I'm gonna feed off of what you're saying right there. As far as the beard, I had the opposite.
Yeah.
Right. Like I didn't actually start growing a full beard.
Yeah.
Until way later.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've legit been in a relationship where my significant other was like, I don't like the beard at all. Like I like your clean cut face. Like I don't mind a beard, but like it's got to be even lower than yours, like low, right? Because there was a point where like that's all I did. Go to the barber, keep it low, like just low enough, whatever.
Yeah.
And one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grow a beard. Just want to see what happens.
Were you still with the person at the time when you did it? Okay.
And I will also throw in there, like I didn't like say, you know what, I think I'm gonna grow my beard. I just started growing it. Like, here's what it is, right? And it became, so it didn't become like a huge issue, but it was definitely a sticking point. Like this, and it turned into this, you don't care about my opinion because you just grow your beard. I'm like, bitch, my face, my choice, right? Like, and if you're watching, I love you, but still.
Don't.
Anyway, you answer the question.
No. Then you gotta. So
okay. So I'm kind of in line with where Ant is. I think it's a little bit. I'll just throw a little bit of a nuance in there. So I totally agree. Your body, your choice. But I think like wholesale changes is a spectrum. Right?
Yeah.
Like you just getting a tattoo, well, clearly I'm not gonna have an issue with getting a tattoo, right? Like
right.
But if you get a tattoo on your face,
but
that's different. I'm gonna be like, so I don't think it's a good idea. Whether she asks me or not, whether it's I think I'm gonna do this, what do you think? Or I think I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be like, I don't think it's a good idea. And I'm not even gonna say why. I don't think it's a good idea. You decide you still
no, now she asks why. Now she asks why.
I mean, so that's easy, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, if you can't cover the shit, like you're gonna be judged, and you're also, and I don't care about this, you're a representation of me. So in certain rooms, you are a representation of me, right? So I don't think that a tattoo on the face is a good idea, right? Now, I'm also not the type of person to tell you what to do. If you want to get a tattoo on your face, go get it. But here's a caveat. You're not going to be a representation of me anymore. I'm not going to say that shit, but like eventually it's going to be...
You probably would though.
I probably would.
So what you're saying is your girl gets a face tattoo eventually. You think
we're fucking done. Like, and
you know what the best part was? He kind of thinking, no, you're not gonna. But then when you ask the question, says, "Oh, we're fucking done."
Like, I mean, it might not be a hard stop right away. I might be like, "Oh, it looks so nice." Just not my thing. So here's the thing, right? Like, I just don't rock that shit.
No, I got you.
You know what I mean? So again, spectrum though. So like that's that thing. A shave head. I can rock with a shaved head. Like I can rock with a shaved head, period. I would probably be on some like if you don't have a nicely shaped head though, and it doesn't look good, I'm gonna probably be like, that don't look good on you. Grow your hair back, please.
But even with that, that's something that can be changed.
Undone. That can go back to
so your spectrum is whether or not the
permanent or temporary. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So like if it's temporary, I can deal with it. Even if I don't like it, I can deal with it. Because at the end of the day, I'll be honest with you, right? Like I'm not a huge fan of like anything fake. So like I'm not a fan of weave. I'm not a fan of the eyelashes. I'm definitely not a fan of like fucking BBLs and all that other bullshit. Like I truly believe, and I know I'm gonna get canceled for this, but I don't care. That it is at a certain level, a certain level of like self-hate. Personally,
I knew he was gonna say that.
I don't care. Like,
I don't think that's what it is. But okay.
Right? Like, no, and this thing, like, I'm not saying that is what it is. I'm saying for me, that's how I look at it. I'm like, if you have to change who you are and the way you look, now I
don't think that's fair.
I don't think that's fair.
I don't think that's a fair statement at all.
And that's fine.
And here's why I don't think that's a fair statement.
Okay.
Because I think that everyone, when they're not happy with the way they look, makes an attempt to change it, whether it's growing or cutting hair, whether it's going to the gym and working out. It's all the same.
There is a difference between though, like growing your hair, cutting your hair, putting someone else's hair on your head, and not right. Like, and I'm not talking about like. So, matter of fact, I'll put it this way: like, I'm not even a fan of wigs, but I can rock with a wig because at that point, again, temporary. It's like it's the tonight I want to put a wig on and Right, it's a whole other thing where for the next couple weeks. I've got this in my hair.
So but I don't see how you consider that like a kind of self-hate, because it's the same. I'm saying it's the same thing.
And that's why I said
even to a small degree.
Right. So to a small degree though, I truly believe that. And again, like I said, I know I'm gonna get fucking.
Well, no, I mean just
shit.
like
but I'm just saying, right? Like when and I'm not talking about like the one-offs, right? That's not what I mean. Right? What I'm talking about is more of the I don't look good unless I do these things. Right? Like cuz there are some people who legit will be like I don't feel good about myself unless I'm decked out with all these things, like whether it's the weave and the eyelash or whatever. I'm not talking about the one-offs, like, you know what, today I'm just going to put some weave in, right? Because I've seen it. People get married. Wife wants, or the bride-to-be wants, like, more volume, so she puts in weave. Or, you know what, I'm doing some shit over here. I want to do, that's the one-offs. I'm not really debating that. What I'm talking about is the daily, weekly, monthly, annually, this is what I do, and this is a part of my appearance. It's like, at what point, like, when are you cool with just looking like who you are?
But you know that. So what I would say with that is like, we are speaking about this as men,
without a doubt,
and we don't feel the same pressure
100%
that women feel every day to look a certain way. Because I mean, shit, they experience it a lot different than we do.
100%.
So it's like, yeah. Maybe they need a wig for whatever. Maybe they have hair issues, or maybe they. So
we're not talking about those situations, though. That's not what I'm talking about.
I know that's not what you're talking about. However, we don't know why a certain person,
right? Because at a glance, all you see is a person in a weave or a wig.
Right.
So okay, so I understand that 100%, but I'm a numbers guy, right? So if no, like for real, right? I'm a numbers guy. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to put my head on the block that what you're talking about is a minority. That is not the majority.
I don't know, so I can't guess.
You don't have to know. You don't have to guess. What I'm saying is, I know for a fact.
You can't know for a fact, bro. Like
I didn't even finish, right? Okay. I know for a fact without the facts.
Without the facts. Okay. People some hard. Yo, I'm gonna need to see the numbers on this.
Don't but for real, right? Like, don't you ever? You will never be invited back on this fucking show.
I'm invited, bro.
I don't care. Like I won't record. It'll be the Guy Unpacked.
That's funny.
But for real, right? Like if we're looking at sheer numbers, right? I think it's more of a cultural thing than it is a need thing. Because you're right. Like, yes, there are people who have, whether it's alopecia or whatever the things like, and are very, very self, like, what word are we looking for? It's like they're so conscious about the way they look. Yeah, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about there is a culture within our culture, so a subculture, better word, where there are people who believe that the way to look good is steeped in what I'm going to call a Eurocentric look. So it's like, I need to have that Indian or that Asian or whatever it is in my hair in order to look. And I'm not knocking it in itself. It's for me, it's more about like, if you feel the only way that you look good is when you put something that's not yours on you, like, for me, that's just not my thing. And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that's just not my thing. Right. So taking it back to what we're talking about, like, in my girl, and I'll even throw it out there, like, that's still not going to make me leave. I'm just going to be like, you don't like yourself. I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to think it. I'm not going to say it.
There's just a lot of layers to it. Like,
there are a lot.
I understand what you're saying.
There are a lot.
There's a lot of. I don't necessarily agree with all of it, but
you shouldn't.
But I do see what
you understand where I'm coming from.
I understand.
Right.
I understand your perspective.
No, yeah, I do too.
Yeah. I don't fuck with it, but I understand it.
And I will say this though, I like braids though. I like the braids. And when I say I like, there's a part of the braids where I'm like, that right there. That's my thing right there.
Okay.
It's the weave in particular, and I think what it is like, if I'm not to dig too deep, it's like it's one of those things where, like, I know for a fact that's not the texture of your hair.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if it was more like you putting in weave and it looked closer to what the texture of your hair would be, I probably wouldn't care. But like, it's like, no, that is without a doubt an Indian person's hair that you have in your head, or an Asian person's hair, and you look like you're from Senegal. Like, You can laugh. It's okay. It's okay.
No, but I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
So basically, at the end of the day, you want something that looks natural.
That looks at least natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Get an Afro wig.
This guy.
So you answer the question now, though. Your girl comes to you.
I absolutely feel like your appearance, and this goes men and women,
Sure.
right? I believe there should be a certain level of agreement between the man and the woman if they're going to be together.
Sure. On
certain things. So like, and you should be able to have this discussion where you know what those things are. So if example, like your girl telling you, like if my girl was to tell me something along those lines, like, hey, if you grow out your hair, I would find that unattractive or whatever. For me personally, I'd be like, okay, well, I don't want to now be unattractive to you. So now if it's something I really want to do, I'd be like, yo, I just want to try this look for a while, X, Y, Z, whatever. And then we can see, and if I could try and be like, nope, still don't like it. I'd be like, all right, I'll cut it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm open like that because it's like if I want to do something, I still want you to be attracted to me with it.
Right.
So I don't want you looking at me like,
sir,
I mean, I'ma still sleep with you, but begrudgingly now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm so with that, I am from the woman perspective, I'm the same with you guys where like if it is a permanent change that I know I'm not gonna like, then that's a deal breaker for me. Sure. So like if you're getting like I'm not gonna use the face tattoo as the example, but if you're getting like, let's say I'm not a huge tattoo person.
Okay.
And so I like more understated tattoos is me. That's what's appealing to me. Sure. I like a tatted girl, but I don't need you to have like the full sleeve up to your neck, your whole back and all that. Like, look at Dre. I'm getting excited.
If any of you all are very fully tatted and beautiful, DM me, please.
Right. See, like, and that's where we differ. Like, I don't need it. I don't need your whole body covered in ink. Like, some spots here and there that you think look that I ain't gonna say nothing. But,
yeah.
You know, so things like that, like you said, with tats, they're permanent. So
yeah.
So you get it, and that's it. That's life. You know, the BBL, the surgery, all of that immediately. Like the funny thing for me is the minute I hear or find out, like I could look at a girl and she'd be attractive today. The minute I hear the body's fake, I immediately lose, like subconsciously. It's not even like I think about it and say, "Ooh, I don't like that." It's like, oh, she just stops. The appeal is gone because I'm like, oh, I know that's fake.
So I'm so not to take it back to the hair thing, but like to take it back to it very, very similarly. If it looks natural, I can rock with it. It's when it looks fake, I'm like, nope, I'm good. And I don't want that shit.
That's the other thing for me. It could look natural. It's the knowledge in the back of my head that it's not.
Okay.
Like that's where I like.
I suck it on them titties, no.
No, so here's the funny thing about it. It's not tits don't bother me. It's just ass. That's the crazy thing. Like, yo, boobs don't bother me at all, bro.
He really is supposed to be in Soka because what he's saying
right
is the white people shit I'm good with. It's the black people shit. When you start altering the black people shit, I got a problem with that shit.
But right, that's why I have no business being in Soka. No business being in Soka.
I was just trying to tie it to Soka so badly. I was like, as I was saying, I was like, yeah.
You was like, this isn't.
I was reaching.
You reached so. I was like, wait a minute, bro. I'm not even. You actually making my case.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm saying. So like, somebody throw some tits in, I'm almost like, okay. And again, back to you, as long as they don't look stupid, like.
Right.
But it's like, once you start to augment the ass and the hips and shit, I'm like,
so even if it looks natural,
and that's the thing. It's subconscious now because like if I don't know, I don't even think.
Gotcha.
It's when I find out that it is. It's like, and I may still rock with you, but I'm still always like, shit ain't even real though. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm like, that shit ain't even real. Now on the flip side of that, right? Let's say we together and you come to me like, hey babe, I think I want to go do this. Nope. I'm telling you, I'm not giving you the whole. Yeah. I'm because I don't have the time to be as nuanced as you guys.
Okay, so here's the question though. So I think it's easier to exit if it's just you're in a relationship. If you're married and the person says they want to do this stuff, or not they want to, they say they're going to do this. Like what? Like, do you divorce at that point, or do you figure out how to deal with it?
If we're married, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, hang on, because now I'm starting. Now
bitch, that's my money.
well, not even just that, right? Because here's how I'm thinking about it, right? Maybe I'm wrong for thinking about it like this, but
I don't think anybody's wrong for the way you think.
Yeah, no, you can absolutely.
Sometimes.
When you think brown people don't belong in your party, that's wrong.
Right.
That's
So again, what I mean, nuance. The reason why you think it may not be wrong.
Right. So
what you think could be wrong.
So here's what I'm saying. Like, if we're married, I'm almost like, you and I have agreed that it's going to be us till death, right?
Right.
That's our on paper.
You and your small bomb, see, it's mine.
Right. So at this point, I'm like, if I love it,
right, then
and
who you doing this for?
And I'm the dude that you've committed to for life.
Sure,
now again, with dating is something else. You may be like, look, you might fuck up tomorrow. I gotta be back out. Yeah. Or you may be doing it for yourself, quote unquote, because that's the other thing. A lot of people say, well, I'm not doing it for the other person. I'm doing it for me.
Right.
But I'm also like, what is it about that you need to do for you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't get into the psychology of it. If that's what you're saying, that's fine. I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'm invalidating that opinion at all.
Sure.
But again, if I'm your husband, I'm still there like, but I like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what
changing what I like.
This is what I fell in love with. This is what I want.
Right.
Why are you?
I want your rules.
Right. Why are you fucking with this?
Keep the rules.
You know what I'm saying? So now we'll use this example, right? Let's say it was because I love a gym chick.
Okay.
Like, if you post pictures in the gym, I almost don't. Let me tell you,
gym and tattoos.
I can say, not that I completely don't care. I love seeing the effort. So it's not even about what you look like. It's not even as much about what you look like. Let me.
I'm not there.
Right, you're not there. But let me tell you something. It's not even about as much what you look like.
I want to lick her abs.
If I know you, like,
I'm just saying. Sorry. Go ahead.
But because I'm a gym guy,
right?
I like to see that chick works out.
Yeah.
So that in itself is appealing to me, right? If that's not a part of your life, so like, I bring up this example because like I've had people say, okay, oh, you looked better when you were bigger. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be
there.
Right. I don't want to look like that.
Sure.
Like, that was 260, approaching 2, like,
right.
I don't want to be that big anymore. Like,
were you that large?
Yeah. There's not many pictures of that, bro. There's not many pictures of that.
So was it mostly fat? Or
no,
it was still
a
lot of muscle, but you just bulky?
Yeah, but just bulky and still bulky in this region. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, and I've been told, no, you look better. I was like, yeah, but I didn't feel good.
You didn't feel good.
Bro, and I know it's unhealthy.
No homo, bro. Like, I've seen you leaning out. Like,
so this is
keep on doing that, bro.
Right. So this is my point, right?
No.
That's it. Right.
I gotta say it on both sides. Like, I gotta bookmark this shit.
And we gonna pause again. In fact, we gonna stop.
Right.
We not even just pausing. We hitting stop.
I'm gonna need you to stop putting your finger in your like.
Right, I know.
I pick that too. You see, no, we're not doing this at all. We're not doing this at all.
This guy
dealing with children. But yeah, so even with something like that, right? Let's say I get with somebody and I'm smaller and starting to get big again, right? And they're like, ooh, keep doing that. I like that. I'd be like, no, because I ain't trying to. I'm immediately. See, you saw me because what
I'm just gonna ignore him.
What I've noticed is once we get to a certain part in the podcast, he becomes a complete child. So I just have to. Like,
I've always been a child.
Once we not like it'll be less in the beginning, but you've seen it, right? Like once we dip near the end of the
but and I hear it every episode.
Once we get near the end of the podcast, complete child, dog.
But you know what though? But they're more innuendo. No, so it's not just that, but they're more innuendos toward the end when we're tapering off. So add the Prosecco too. Yeah,
that's what I said. Like you become a complete child.
Right.
So exactly. So that type of shit. So
sorry,
but no. So again, I'm not gonna. So I know from that perspective.
That's your preference.
This is a thing that is my preference.
Sure.
But I'm gonna get with someone who likes that.
Yeah.
Because if we start dating and you tell me I like you bigger, I'm like, hey, so you have to understand That's not where I want to be.
Right.
I don't want to be 260 at all.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're attracted to, then this may not work because you have to understand my goal is X. So at the same time, if I'm dating a young lady, like, and she's like, look, I'm trying to do X or whatever. Well, I like you how you are right now.
Sure.
But you've let me know this is not your intention. Then I'm like, hey, you know what?
Maybe we're just not for each other.
We're not compatible from a visual standpoint because here go the problem, dog. Now you get deep into this relationship. You're not married yet, right? And you start to look, you may love this person, but you start to look elsewhere in terms of what your eye
what you're actually interested in.
What's catching your eye.
Right,
and now you're fighting yourself, creating this need to stay away from this because you know you visually like this.
Yeah.
But here's what you have. And you knew from the start this was not what I was necessarily attracted to. I'm just not putting myself under that kind of pressure when I'm talking about somebody I'm gonna marry. So I'm like, look, let's make sure that we're both, all the other stuff is great, but let's first make sure that we're both physically compatible with what we want ideally. And now I'm not so dumb as to say, okay, I understand if something happens, women get pregnant, men get hurt, illness, things like that can cause all kinds of changes.
Sure.
We're not talking about any of that.
Right.
All that's off the table. I love you.
We're not talking about alopecia.
Right. We're talking about choices being made. Right. Like I'm choosing to make this augment my body this way.
I gotta link that shit.
Yeah.
I had to make sure because I listened. I was like, yeah, what I said. There are people who are not gonna like what I'm saying at all.
So that's what I'm glad you.
So we're all the same now. So like we're linking it in different ways.
We're good now. I'm back. I'm
back on the good side.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So take all of that out. Take all of that out the equation, and we're just talking about the choices.
Yeah.
I want to know that, like when we start dating, like I said, that's why I love a chick in the gym now, because I know at least it doesn't matter if as we get older, metabolism slows down. We get a little different.
You're willing to go to the gym still.
Right.
Yeah.
We still working out together.
And we can bond together with that.
Even if we both putting on weight and we don't look like we looked when we was 20, we know, you know what, this is an activity we enjoy doing.
Together. Yeah.
So stuff like that, I'm gonna enjoy. So
I already know that you're ready to cut it off, but I'm not gonna let you cut it off just yet. Because I think just we can play into this conversation just a little bit more. Just a little more. All right. So like love languages, because that was another thing that
this is gonna be quick though.
Right, very quick. Right. So ultimately, for you guys watching, we had someone reach out to Rich who watched the podcast. Thank you for reaching out and asking a question. And I don't know if it was the last episode or the episode before.
I'll make this quicker.
Do it.
So basically, last podcast I said I don't believe in love language. I think love language is a bullshit. What are your take on love language? You're familiar with the love languages?
I am very familiar with them. They are not bullshit. Okay.
All right.
Because here's the thing, dude. Listen. You remember the song, the Usher song, "Simple Things"?
Yep.
Okay, he's like, he said, you just bought your girl a brand new Rolex. All she wanted was some time, dog.
She wanted a fucking hug.
So that's all she wanted. So you find a lot of people, okay, gift giving is a love language. Some people don't respond to gift giving because they want quality time.
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Some people don't respond to like
acts of
service because they want a gift. Because so if the way that you are showing love isn't compatible with what they think love is, then it's gonna be a breakdown.
I hear you.
It is.
No, I'm not arguing with you.
100%.
Not arguing with you.
But you think it's bullshit, though.
Oh, it's absolute bullshit.
So I definitely don't believe it's bullshit. I think, without hearing what you have to say, because I know you're gonna go last. I don't think it's the end all and be all of a relationship.
It's not.
The same way how Zodiacs aren't an end all and be all of a relationship.
Because
the same way, so none of those things are end all and be all. But I do believe that like all of them are like guidelines almost, right? It's a way for you to understand value systems, right? So, case in point, both of my kids' moms are Tauruses, right? I didn't believe in fucking Zodiac shit at all.
Because they're not real.
Until, hear me out. I didn't believe in Zodiac shit at all until like I was like, you know what? Both of them, they're not the same, but they have very similar Hold on.
I'm listening.
No. Stop. Move the shit. And the reason why I say move your hand is because I'm actually going to touch on exactly what the fuck you're gonna say. I know that I'm the common denominator, so I'm not saying.
Okay.
I know exactly where it's going. So don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucking
He was about to blame this.
So I'm taking all the wind out of his sails.
He was about to blame.
Move your hands, nigga. On a
that man was about to blame April and
May.
Right.
So I'm not saying that that I didn't play a role in it, because I totally understand that I played a role in both of the relationships, but there are still some similarities in that, right? Mm-hmm. But again, like I say, I don't think it's the end all and be all. Like when people you look at some of the matchups, and I've actually looked at them, just out of curiosity, and they literally put Libras and Tauruses don't actually work well. I don't believe that Libras and Tauruses can't work well, but I believe if people aren't willing to understand the value system of the other person that they're dealing with, and vice versa, it's going to be problematic. And translate that back to love languages, right? I've taken the shit multiple times. I've looked at it. I've read the book. So Gary Chapman is honestly a boss, because honestly, outside of just love languages, he did one on apology languages, right? So what you expect as an apology, the apology style or whatever it is, right? So
I haven't heard that one.
So you have or haven't?
I haven't.
Right. When I read it, I was like, oh shit, this actually makes sense, because people apologize differently, right? Mm-hmm. And that's actually a big issue in relationships, right? You're gonna run into issues. The way you apologize might be good for you, but the way I apologize might be different or whatever.
Right.
So back to love languages, though, I think it's just a good way to help me understand the way that you want to be loved. Mm-hmm. And I think that ultimately it's kind of two things. So let's just say my love language is, matter of fact, my main love language is physical touch, right? But if I'm dealing with somebody whose love language is quality time, right? I think that there are a couple pieces to this. So one, it's you need to understand that the way I love is physical touch, right? And I need to understand that the way you love is quality time. Now, I'm going to try to give you quality time so you feel loved, and hopefully you try to touch me so I feel, you know what I'm saying? Touch me so I feel loved, right? But when you do what's natural to you, so when you just want to do quality time, I also need to be conscious enough to understand that I might not be feeling loved because I want physical touch, but I understand that your intention there is to love me because you're giving me quality time, and vice versa. You might expect quality time, but I'm trying to touch you, and you might not want to be touched right now, but you understand, okay, that's the way he loves. So even though it's not particularly what I'm yearning for right now, he's trying to love me. Mm-hmm. So I already see you fucking smiling. I see the grin. I as someone who says that you do not understand, you don't believe it, you think it's bullshit, we're ready to hear what you have to say, sir.
Oh. But I did have a question. So do you think that, okay, you're in a relationship, do you think that there are things that you do more often than others? Do you give gifts more than you might cook for somebody, or do you spend time with them more so than you might, what's the other one?
So it's acts of service, gifts, quality time, physical touch,
words of affirmation.
And words of affirmation. Yeah.
Okay. So are you saying, do I feel like I do one thing?
Yeah. Do you feel like you lean in one direction or
other? But I mean, that's people. Everyone, everyone does certain things more than this. So I'm not saying that I think the concept of people are different is bullshit, because that's obvious. People are different. I took the test.
What was your number one?
I don't remember. I think I
you didn't take it seriously, clearly.
No, I did. Well, so here's the thing. I took the test, and I'm a super literal and very analytical person. And as I looked at the test, it made me realize that when it came to what's more meaningful, I had to deliberately sit there and be like, well, which of these is more meaningful? Because
that's the purpose, right?
Right. So as I sat and I thought, I sat and I gave each one thought, and I realized I don't care about either of these, but they're making me pick one. All right, well, I guess this.
And that's the purpose.
Right, I guess. Right. So again, I can't remember if it was, I can't remember what my main one was, right? But even my main one, so I sent it to someone who does believe in it, and she was like, "Ooh, I would have thought it would have been this," right? So I was like, right, because this is all bullshit. Because, you know what I'm saying? It's harder for me to really put this into words without coming across.
Come across however you want to. Like,
super
bro, I literally just said that
pause.
people hate themselves if
So-
like if they wear
So-
fucking weave and
so-
put like eyelashes themselves. So like, go ahead.
Right.
You
I
be
think-
another bad guy.
No, it's not even about. I mean, I don't really care about it because I don't feel. I think people have placed too much emphasis on
I agree with that.
on
yes.
That I agree with.
on the very literal thing that is just simple human nature.
100% agree
where
with that.
we can absolutely just look at each other and be like, okay, without me and my significant other taking this test and now getting these answers and saying, well, like you put a lot of thought into that scenario that you just gave, right? Where, okay, maybe if she loves this, then I have to understand that this and blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
When all of that kind of comes back down to, okay, cool. I know that I need to know my partner without placing any of these 5 specific categories in it.
Sure.
Know my partner. Babe, what do you want to do today? I just want to sit around and watch movies. Okay, cool. Tomorrow I would like to do X.
Yeah.
I bet. You know what I'm saying? Like
So-
it is. Like I think it's more about when I say it's bullshit. I think the bullshit is the getting these boxes
Sure.
and then
Okay.
creating this test. That the
Okay.
the way you do the test, it gives questions that honestly, like for some people, one, like I said, when I did it, there were a lot of times where one was not more or less than the other. To me, it was just
and that's actually the psychology of the test, right?
right. So I just had right. So now I just have to pick one
in the middle or something like
Right.
that. Yeah.
But there was no in the middle answer. It was
Right.
like A or B. And I was like,
Right.
it's neither.
So here's the thing though, right?
Mhm.
Like, so I think based off of what you're saying,
Mhm.
like we're ultimately saying the same thing, but
Yeah,
from
but I'm
two
putting-
different
I'm-
places.
We're not even from 2 different places. What I'm saying is I agree with the concept, but
Okay.
the specifics of love languages is bullshit. Because
Okay.
I can completely throw all that shit out the window and just deal with you as an individual.
Right.
And it's almost like if you and I don't ever take this test, we would probably have a much easier time just talking to each other. Because now if we take this test, which may give, because like I told you, a person who knows me very well, when I told them what the results were, they were like, ooh, I would have thought this. I was like, yeah, I would have probably thought this too. Which also brings me to the point of now I'm here thinking, well, is it this?
Mhm.
And now in my mind, I've created this unnecessary,
I
you know what I'm saying?
understand. I
So now I've
I
created,
understand
now
where
I'm
you're
starting to warp my own perception of myself based on what this test told me.
So here's my question though,
Mhm.
right? Because I think that like in an ideal world, what you're saying totally makes sense,
Mhm.
right? I think though in relationships, a lot of times people don't always know what they want,
Mhm.
and
And then this test isn't going to tell them because the
No,
test asks you
but-
to answer
no,
questions.
no. But hear me out. But I'm talking about like still at a macro level, right? Like
Mhm.
there's some people who don't know, like, what makes them feel love, like specifically,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So if someone's self-aware enough to know to use your exact example, today I want this, right?
Mhm.
You're conscious enough to be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna give you that. That's what you want. Like I'm gonna love you that way.
Right.
And you're like, tomorrow I want this.
But no. What I'm saying is I'm taking take the actual love language out of it, right?
Okay.
What do you physically want today?
No, I get
Right?
that.
So here's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
Most people can tell you what they want today. So if I wake up, me and Boo wake up, babe, what you want to do today? Bro, I don't know. I'm good with whatever. You know what I mean? Then that means for you, whatever I'm doing, if we doing it together, I don't actually care what it is. Or you may just specifically today be like, yo, I wanted to go see this play, blah, 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 blah. Your birthday comes around. You know what I'm saying? What if I'm with you and dealing with you, then I know either you want an experience or you want a physical, tangible gift because I've been working with you. I've been with you and dealing with you.
Mhm.
First initial part of dating, being in a relationship, these are conversations you have with someone. I don't want to know your love language. Tell me,
I agree,
ideally, perfect birthday for you. What would it be like? You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like these are
But
the things.
you will learn those things as you
Right.
go
Right,
along.
and that's what I'm saying. So I think the whole it's like the Zodiac. I feel like the reason I think that's bullshit. I think a lot of people once they
Some bullshit too.
What? Oh, it's absolute bullshit.
I don't think it's bullshit.
Okay,
I don't think it's bullshit either.
I hear you. There's nothing about the time and date I was born that determines my personality. I don't believe there is.
No,
I don't believe there is.
But there's so many similarities of people.
Because I think after years and years of hearing Taurus is stubborn, people have started to adopt. Let me tell you something. When you've been told something, that's looking
at it from a negative standpoint. No, but if you start looking at it from just characteristics, and I'm not saying that like it's the end all be all, right? But when you to Ant's point, when you start looking at, for me, Libras, right? You look at a whole bunch of people who were born between, can't remember, it's like the end of September till like the almost end of October, right? Like. And these are the characteristics that we see. It's not to say that those characteristics can't be found in other zodiac.
Right.
No, it's not. It's right. It's not to say that those characters can't be found in other signs. It's to say that these characteristics in particular are very characteristic of like the people that are born here.
It's the Mandela effect, dog. I'm just telling you. Once you've been told a certain thing, you're going to go find that thing.
I don't. Like,
you see it because you've been told it.
I understand where you were coming from, but I respectfully disagree.
Like I would see the beauty part. I would see a thing where it would give a list of characteristics of these people, and it would list six of the zodiac signs. I'd be like, right, if you take half of a calendar, obviously you're 50% gonna get right. If you read the characteristics in every single one, there's so much overlap.
So here's my question.
That is like, dog, all I'm saying is I could literally go and list characteristics of human beings and throw them in any one, and you would find people who are like, that's me. I do that too.
But here's my question. Right? And this actually even goes back to the first time you said it was bullshit, and the first question I asked was, have you taken the test? Right? And you said no, you took it, and you're like, I still think it's bullshit, so fine. Right? Like, based off of what you're saying right now, have you actually taken the time to be like, all right, Tauruses, based off of what like this shit says here, this is the people that I know who are Tauruses, this. Capricorns, this. Pisces, this. Like,
to that
have
level?
You actually...
No, to that level?
Stubborn.
No, yeah.
Right, because and I don't mean that in a fucked up way, but like ultimately, if you don't actually take the time to understand,
here's why I haven't
and
had to
apply it. Like,
here's why I haven't had to do that.
I understand
right?
where you come from.
Here's why I haven't had to do that, right? Because I've seen so much. Because I used to read horoscopes and all that shit all the time back when I was younger and stupid, right? And I used to really
right.
He's going young and stupid.
No. Because there's a lot of old people who. So I used to really think this shit was real, right?
Right.
And then I started to read what the characteristics were for each one. And I was like, well, that's found here,
everywhere,
and here.
Yeah.
So if I take a characteristic and plug it into even 3 out of 12, I take a third of a calendar and say, you all are this. There's a good chance that I'm gonna find a whole bunch of people that fit into each of these groups.
That's because you're very literal.
And then, more importantly, if for each one I have 6 or 7 characteristics, then there's a good chance you're gonna find 3 or 4 of those characteristics that fit you, but that may also fit someone else. So I'm just, dog, when I read it all, I was like, how the fuck would when I was born affect? Because then I went deeper. I was like, wait, how does it even work?
Moon signs, sun signs. It's like it's a whole bunch
of
exactly.
You're very literal. You're very literal and try to find things that you can prove.
Bullshit.
See, my personality is more like I'm just not as literal. Like I'm not really a science type person. I'm more of a, I believe in all of that type of shit.
Right.
So it's like I don't have to have verifiable facts to think that something is real.
So the irony is, honestly, I am a hugely literal person.
Yeah, which is what's weird that you believe in.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
I'm
what makes
hugely
it
literal. Yeah. But I don't know what the rationale is, but because I'm able to step back from my literal nature and see from at least a macro level that I get it. Like to your point, there's certain characteristics that I will read for an Aries or a Capricorn and be like, I have that, right? It automatically doesn't
it doesn't negate it.
It doesn't negate what a Libra says, right?
No, it doesn't.
So that's kind of where I am. Where I'm like, all right. So again, guideline, not like this is what it is. It's just like the majority, and I might not fall into majority here. I might fall into minority, but like the majority of the people who were born here or born this time or whatever the fuck it is, like. cool. It's something for me to understand. And again, the way I look at it is like this. Even if it's not true, like for fact, like even if it's not something promised that this person does this because they were born at this time, it's at least something that I can be like, if I see some remnants of that, I know how to navigate that shit. And that's really where I am. Like, give me more data for me to navigate these situations.
So you know what? For me, that data is just your personality.
I'm fucking taking it
day
like by day, situation by situation.
Because I'm not grouping you based on...
Sure, I get it.
Oh, you're an Aquarius? Oh, well, now I know I got to do X, Y, and Z.
But neither am I, though.
But there are people who, that's as soon as they... Oh, you're a this? Oh, I know I won't get along with you because you're such and such. And I'm like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, so that's not what we're saying, though. That's not what we're saying.
But that's my point when I say it's BS. It's like, okay.
So you're looking at it as being BS from the purest standpoint.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but
because I don't think that it's real. So for the people who
that's not quite the same.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I don't think that it's real. So for the people who take that hard and fast approach to it,
sure.
I just know I can't even.
Okay.
It's you're far right or far left.
I
can't even deal with you.
I understand.
I don't even use it as a guideline because it's like I don't. I think personality traits are just personality traits.
Bullshit, so I'm not even taking it as a guideline.
So,
I'm with it. I think we are far overdue.
Yeah, we went a little extra today, but of course,
Cupid is like, yo, I'm ready to go home.
Right. So guys, and. Thank you for coming through.
Thanks for having me. As always,
we will definitely have you back here again for some more of these.
Yeah, we got to do it again.
We got to unpack this part more.
Yeah,
at another time.
So, I want to thank you guys for rocking with us. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure you follow us on all of the podcast platforms. And if you have any topics that you want to hear us discuss, feel free to hit us up. Send us an email. Hit the DMs. However you get in touch with us.
All that.
We appreciate it. So. Once again, Dre, before we go, anything you need to add?
I can't think of anything right now.
And?
Nah, I'm good.
He's like DC Carnival.
Yeah. 2024.
Right.
So, once again,
this is Dre.
This is Rich. This is the Guys Unpacked.
And
we are out.
If you enjoyed this, make sure you check out all our full episodes on YouTube at Guys Unpacked.
Also available anywhere you get your podcast, and follow us on all social media at Guys Unpacked.